All right.
We should totally open a podcast that way, by the way.
Sounds good.
And before he's already recording.
I've been recording this whole time.
Clearing your throat, dad style.
No. Well, folks, I guess that's a great enough intro to this whole thing. What is this thing?
What is this? Odd Pod Podcast.
What is this? What is this?
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. My name's Stacy Kruger. Boys, who are you?
I am casually challenged.
Red Hazard.
I'm Robbie.
And I'm Undead.
How are you guys doing? Good to have you guys back to record with us. As if it's like a huge conglomerate of people behind me in studio here, running my studio. Like, all right, this is the Odd Studios. We got to have 3 people on the board, 2 working the compressor, 1 working the bellows that actually does nothing at all, you know.
And before you have your kids doing it all for you.
Can you tell the producer to give me more snare in my headphones?
God, I hate working with drummers in recording studios. God.
Wait. I need some more monitor in my earpiece. Fucking guitarists.
No, too much.
Listen.
Where's my French latte?
Listen here.
I said only green M&Ms. I'm out.
You know, you guys joke, but I've worked with people like this in my studio back when I ran a recording studio. They're not people you want to mess around with because they actually do this and they're serious. Like, excuse me, could I possibly have a little bit more snare on my drum, on my ear? Mother, you're the drummer. You can barely hear the music as it is over your drum set that you're hitting like Captain Caveman. Calm down, man.
And there's the name of this episode, Captain Caveman.
Stop hitting your drum like Captain Caveman. I think we have a title.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, add that one to the counter.
And, dear God.
Either way, I thank you all so
we
very
lasted
much.
2 minutes.
Yeah, we lasted a whole 2 minutes. That's actually a record for us, I do believe.
It is.
So I think that this podcast should be a little bit better than the others. You know why, guys?
Why?
Because it's not...
Well,
no, we never know what we're doing.
True.
Okay, guys, honestly, when's the last time we've known what we're doing?
When I broke my laptop.
God damn it. I'm being serious, though. Sure, I've worked at radio, so I know how to run the recording program. I know how to talk. But really, beyond that, what? When's the last time we've known what we were doing?
We don't really make a habit of it.
Yeah,
the resounding
not the first
silence
episode.
is all we need to know right there. Excuse me. Oh my God, I'm still dying. I'm still dying. Like, you would think after this long of the cold being here, by now it would be gone. It's been, what, a month now?
I was going to say, you had that, second episode?
I want to say, no, I had it before the first episode even started. It's just that the cold was over with by the second episode. It just hasn't left yet.
What episode are we on, by the way?
4. Yeah, 4.
Oh, wow. And that's
Hey,
long.
we made it to 4 episodes, guys. Let's hear it for ourselves. Come on. All right. But all right, so guys, what do we want to open up with today? I'm thinking it'd be fun to talk about why we play video games. Because everybody has their own reason for playing video games, don't we?
Yeah.
And, some people, it's a generalization of, well, I just do it because it's something fun to look at when I get off work to unwind. Some people, it's something a little bit more. For me, well, one, I do it professionally because I do it on Twitch. But before that, it was always just an escape for me. It was a way for me to go, okay, the real world sucks. Back when I was in school, it was like I have no friends. I suck at I suck at life. Whatever, right? I have no girlfriend. No girl wants to fuck me. Whatever. But on this video game, I rule. I kick so much ass. I can rule the world. I can beat the ultra evil and save the world if I want to. Whatever. So it was one of those things to kind of go, you know what? I may not be happy in this world with myself, but here, at least it's my little reprieve from life.
Were you one of those kids
Well, yeah, pretty much, man.
Were you one of those kids that pretended the guys you were killing in the games were your bullies?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Neither can I. All I'm saying is, Joe, you little motherfucker, I've killed you so many times. But yeah, I did. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I did all the friggin' time of doing the whole, sure, he kicked my ass at school today, but I kicked his ass at game. Like when I played Pokemon, remember how you could, what was it? You could name your enemy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I named him so I could kick his ass in battles. You're the schoolyard bully, but I'm going to kick your ass in Pokemon, man.
I always like to name the character something that fits in well with conversation. So it's like something like "fuck my." How have you been today?
See, here,
Fuck me, how have you been? God damn it!
I see that all the time in I watch a lot of streams, and there's a lot of times where the streamer asks, "What should I name this character?" And
Stacy,
asshat, stuff like that. But
Captain Anal in my case, everything's named Captain Anal.
I was always the one that had to name the character what they're named. Like Link is always going to be Link in my games. I can't name them something else. I just can't. And please don't give me the option to name a character that doesn't have a name. Oh my God, I'll be sitting there for hours.
For the longest time, I was always one of those type of people too. Until I played the same game so many times in a row, I was like, "Fuck it, man, let's just have some fun." Like Final Fantasy VII, the first easily 20 times I played it and beat it, they were always Cloud, Aerith, or Ares, whatever version you want to call her, Tifa, Barrett, whatever. But now it's like, fuck it, man. I just want to play through it on stream. I want to have fun with my friends. We're going to name it all types of things. One's Captain Anal, another one's Miss Titty. We have Yeffy. Yeah, Butsu. Oh, God, all these great names. It's like, screw it, let's have some fun this time, But okay,
no. Has to be Link.
I've never played a Legend of Zelda game in my entire life. I think I'm going to play through it on stream on purpose and name it the most anti-Zelda name on Earth in your honor.
No, what you should do is you just name him Zelda, so that the actual title of the game fits.
That I actually used to name Link Zelda because I had no idea, and I don't read the manuals. Who reads the manuals to a video?
I was going to say, who reads manuals anymore?
And the only place you would find out his name is Link is in the video game manuals.
Yeah.
Just speaking of which, if you name, that can lead to some unintentional comedy. Like you name him Zelda, so you meet the princess, and she says, "Your name, Zelda. It sounds somehow familiar."
Nice. Wasn't there
Where
one?
have I heard that name before? Oh wait, it's mine. What?
Well, the first game, I know if you named him Zelda, you didn't get anything, but like if you named him something else, you got like a whole bunch of awesome things and the best sword in the game right off the bat or something like that.
It's not in any Zelda that I know of.
The very first one, I could have swore it was.
No, they didn't. They weren't that forward thinking with the early games.
Nintendo forward thinking. It's not like they made motion control before it was really popular and cool or anything. No. But good point.
But they also like to shoot themselves in the foot.
Oh, pray tell, how do they shoot themselves in the foot this time?
Just in general, they like to shoot themselves in the foot.
Oh my God, guys. I know you can't hear it. I could hear this like echoing through my microphone. I'm surprised you can't. Maybe they can't hear it on... If you guys can't hear it on podcast, you're lucky as shit. But my neighbors apparently realize I'm podcasting right now. So they decided it's like...
Time
to go boom boom and shake the room, drop some ecstasy, and crank the bass up to 90. Jesus fucking Christ.
Stacy, you have to crack it to 11. Thank you very much.
Shut up. No, I'm not even joking. There's actually shit rattling on my walls right now. How are you not hearing this?
I don't know, man.
Because you have an amazing mic and professional sound system.
Yeah.
Oh, flex! It's
That's
bad,
why you brought it
though.
up.
No, I'm sorry. I kind of messaged everybody. I was like, "Can you hear this?" And I was like, "I can't not bitch about this. This is terrible." I wonder if I just throw something at the wall, if they'll get the point. Probably not.
So back to the question from about 7 minutes ago.
Back to a segment we started 7 minutes ago. Yeah,
Told you this was going to be the rambly episode.
Why do you guys play video games?
I can tell you that I never really gave it too much thought, to be honest. I just play it because they're fun. But I've also been kind of a child of video games. I started playing when the Atari came out, and I just kind of never stopped. And for me, video games aren't like the escape that some people have. They're just something that I'm terrible at, but I love.
You know, I'm 1,000,000% with you. I'm not good at any game I play. I just have fun doing it. And really, isn't that the point, though?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're
is.
good or not. All it matters is if you love what you do, and that's it, you know?
It'd be weird if you just kept playing video games that you hated.
That's what speedrunners do eventually.
Yeah,
They're
they're,
weird.
you know, I love... let's get back to that right there. You know, I still play Earthbound. I speedrun it for a really long time. Speedrun it. What is the past tense for that? Speedrun?
Spedran.
Speedran?
Speedrun is a generalized term.
Speed fast.
I speed fasted it for a long time. But you know, that's the thing. I love the game still. I do. But goddamn, every time I pick it up to play for speedrun, I'm like, you little fucker, you Gygas, you son of a bitch. You've ruined so many runs. But yeah, well, how about you? Undead, why do you play video games, man?
An escape from the world. Deal with a lot of stuff internally, and video games are just my escape from everything. When I was younger, I was bullied all throughout school, and that was the thing that gave me the light at the end of the tunnel at the end of the day.
So a bit like me, then.
Yeah. And it's funny because my very first video game that I can remember playing is Stronghold on the PC.
Oh, God. I'm trying to remember. I played it once or twice. But
the one where you're the king and you have to raise an army. Yeah, basically. Make a village, raise an army to take over general areas.
Oh, God. It's been years since I even thought of that game. Holy shit.
Yeah, and then after that, it was going over to my aunt's place to play Super Mario World with my cousins.
You know, I guess really that'd be a better question, less than why do you play it, how did you get your start? Because me and Casual are kind of the same boat here. We started on the Atari 2600 and just kind of grew from there. But, you know, I got to start because my stepdad was huge into video games, and he got my mom into it. So, you know, there we are with the 2600 at my uncle's house. I'm playing it, and he's like, I think we found something for Stacy he'll like. So he went and picked up, you know, at that point it was the NES. And here me and him are just jamming on this, having a blast, man. Moved on to Genesis, and that's when we became a bit combative with each other. Because, you know, he would take the games away because he really liked this game. He didn't want me to play it. So I would find it and do something I could do to screw up his entire, you know, game so he couldn't play it ever again. It became a bit combative at that point, but still, you know, it was kind of a family thing, the video games. To, you know, that's why it got started. It was a family affair. It sounds kind of the same with you, Casual.
No, my parents couldn't care less about games.
Really?
My first experience with games was actually at a friend's house, and that was my early experience. It was always at a friend's house because my mother made a lot of blanket statements over the course of her life.
Don't tell me she's one of those Satan ones, like the
no.
devil.
But
okay.
just we're never going to have a VHS player because that's stupid. We're never going to have a TV. We're never going to do this. She's changed over time. You know, we got our VHS player, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the things that I was never going to get was a home gaming system. They're too expensive. They're a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. And then one Christmas, I got the NES bundle package that had like a dance pad thing for an Olympic style game, and it had the light gun for Duck Hunt, and it had Super Mario Brothers.
And this is when Casual lost his mind.
Well, yeah, I did. I still remember that day. You know, I remember the bike I got when I was like 8. I remember the NES I got. I don't remember how old I was, but it was maybe a couple years into the cycle. You know, and for me, that was it. Like, that was the moment that I stopped just playing these games casually, ironically.
Wah, wah, wah.
And I started playing I fell in love with games. Just the entire idea of games at that point.
I'm trying to think. My very first console was the very first console I remember actually opening up and getting on Christmas, should I say? I remember being at my dad's house because, you know, my mom and dad were divorced at this point, long divorced. And he's like, and my dad was one of those kind of guys like, oh, you know, this is the funny part of the whole thing. He may have, bought me a Nintendo, but he was quick to pull the son of a bitch away at the same time because I had Nintendo both at my mom's house and my dad's house, you know? So, but he was always one of those type of people too, like, oh, video games are a waste of time. That's dumb shit. Why don't you go outside and play with a rock? That's more fun. Dad, I don't live out in bumfuck Egypt like you grew up, man. This is town. Give me a fucking video game system, right? But so there I am, Christmas morning, opened up these things, and I open up a carrier case for a Game Boy. And most people will be like, oh my God, there's a Game Boy somewhere in this pile, right? Nay, not Stacy. I go, oh, cool. I hope I get a Game Boy at some time for this thing. And you can see my old man, I'm talking stereotypical cinematic face palm, pulling it down, looking at me like, did I really make you? You're a fucking idiot. Yeah, Papa Kruger was a bit going, oh God, do we need to get this child mental help at that point, I think? Did any of you other guys have stories like that from when you opened up consoles on Christmas Day?
Not so much consoles, but I was kind of relegated to opening up because I didn't really live near many video game stores, and my parents don't play video games at all. So I was kind of relegated to a life of each Christmas opening presents of random video games, which I had never even heard of or didn't know if I liked or not.
Well, which era was this? Was this regular Nintendo or Super Nintendo?
No. When I first started playing video games, which was mainly because of my two older brothers, it was the original Nintendo.
Okay.
I played so many video games on that I loved, especially the original Super Mario.
Yeah.
I was one of those kids that was terrible at video games, so would always get my brother to play the levels I couldn't beat. After that, though, I'm talking more like the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era, where I was like old enough to have my own video game system and play that. And I was like, I had one game, I think it was called Desert Storm.
Oh, God, yeah, dude. I still have that to this day.
I think they got that because my brother was in the military, and I was like, I don't like military games. So,
but did you do the normal, like, thanks, this is great. God damn it.
Well, I didn't know that I didn't like military games until I played it. I was like, this is just no. But yeah, I actually stopped playing video games for a while after the PlayStation 2 until, God, my first year of university. I got enough money to buy a PlayStation 3. This was like a couple of years before the PlayStation 4 came out, annoyingly. And I was like, I'm going to start playing video games again. And the first game I bought was... Then it had just come out, Skyrim, and
that's a
Fallout.
good first game.
Right?
Yeah. I was like, I want to get back into video games. I'm going to try this, and I have loved open world or like sandbox games like that ever since.
No shit. That's kind of cool that you were just like, fuck it, came back to the Skyrim. You're like, a whole new world.
Yeah. Oh god! And then the PS4 came out. And I was like, "Damn it! I don't have money for that now."
I remember when that came out. I was sitting there, a bit sad, going, "God damn it! I want to get this thing." And Pink's is going, "Yes, I know, Stacy, I know." And come to lo and behold, 2 years later, one of her really good friends, which also happens to be an ex-boyfriend of hers, it's one of those things where they were better friends than dating kind of people. And they're sitting there bullshitting. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, you should come up here. I got something for you." She went, "Oh, okay, whatever." Drove up there. He's like, "By the way, here you go." Gave her a fucking PS4. What? What?
Wow.
She's like, "Oh, by the way."
I wish I had exes like that.
Right, dude? That's what
I can't say anything. My ex bought me the microphone that I'm currently using and my graphics card. So
before or after the dating? I'm during or after?
During, but it was like 2 weeks before she broke up with me.
Jesus Christ. Was it that good a dick you gave her? Christ, man.
Funny thing is, she was in San Francisco.
That's some great virtual dick you gave her. Let me give you the internet dick. Jesus, fuckhole, man.
How many?
The mic I'm using, for those who don't know, is I'm using the Blue Snowball Ice. A really good condenser mic. And I'm also using the AMD Radeon R7 244 gig Sapphire.
It's great for what it is. It's great it's great for what it's meant to be used for. That's the one thing I can say about those mics.
That's the universal. Well, if you like it, then that's good.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
If it works great for your situation, fantastic. Use the living piss out of it. I would never let that trash enter my house without smashing it with a baseball bat. Children walk in, "Dad, look at the new thing." "Oh, kill it! Kill it!"
Burn it with fire.
I would attack it worse than I attack spiders in my house. Let me just throw it that way, okay?
You run the other way. You don't attack spiders.
I shot one time. Did I tell you about that?
No.
I actually shot a spider. I missed. That's the worst part of the
It's coming near me.
Well, of course, the only way you could kill a spider is from a distance.
Yeah.
I dug up because this is the point in time when I had my 9mm handgun. I dug it out, walked into the bathroom. This is when my ex-wife, my wife at the time, was like, "Don't shoot that one!" God damn it! But I actually did shoot one with I think it was a shotgun. No, can't remember if it was a shotgun or rifle. But I was out in the country and I saw one. And I was like, "No, don't you dare!" Apparently, shooting it with a rifle seemed to make total sense at the point in time. But yeah, oh god! Speaking of spider stories, I got a good one for you guys. So, if you couldn't tell, folks, I am horrifically scared of spiders. Like, just terribly scared of spiders.
I am too, to be fair.
Okay, so at least I'm not the only one. This makes me feel a little bit better. I was in the shower, and I knew there was a little prick over in the corner. He was making up a house, living there, going, "Oh, I'm gonna eat these things." But I was like, "You stay there, I'll stay here. We're cool, Holmes. I won't have to kill you." He didn't seem to understand the agreement. I'm in the shower, hair covered in shampoo, right? And I have like a majestic mane, so it takes it takes a while to rinse this shit out, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I get some soap in the eyes, so I can't open my eyes. I rinse it all out, and that's when I look up, and here's a little bastard staring at me, right above my fucking head. And that's when the moisture hits the webbing, and he loses control. So all you can hear from the living room is me shrieking and hitting the side of the wall as this thing comes crashing down to the bottom of the tub. Pink comes screaming, "What's the matter? The spider attacked me!" And
he's like the 3-year-old little girl. The 3-year-old little girl inside of him come out.
"Oh, God, Stacy, you're a fucking grown man. Just kill it." "It's gross. Kill it for me." So here I am trying to drown it with the shower because I'm so scared of this thing. It seemed logical at the time, man. It did. I don't know.
And before you realize, most of the spiders that you find in your bathroom come up through the drain.
What? Stop. What?
You will swallow an average of 8 spiders.
Shut your whore mouth! Shut your mouth! We're not talking about this!
You brought it up.
Shut up! We're not talking about eating those little cunts.
What? They're good protein.
Fuck.
I will say that spiders. I'm okay with spiders in video games. Aside from the fact that most of them are like bats, they're horrible, annoying things that do plink damage to you until you die.
Right, dude?
But the moment that they start making spiders look and act realistically, that's the moment I stop playing the games that have spiders in them.
Right? Remember you pointed out, what was that movie? The elf movie or whatever. The Ring
Lord
movie.
of the Rings,
Thank you, Lord
Return
of
of the King.
Thank you. I was about to bring that up.
They made Shelob the spider, which is a major thing in the books and the movie, so realistic that just watching that scene gives me the creeps.
You ever see that movie, Eight-Legged Freaks?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, God. Someone forced me to watch that. I was out of the room within 15 minutes. Just like
I'll tell you,
Arachnophobia.
I was going to say, Arachnophobia gets this record for being a comedy. What comedy? What? No.
No, it was a comedy for sadistic mothers like mine, okay? She was like, hey, Stace, come on. That's me, I think 11-year-old Stacy. Come up here and watch a movie with me. Okay, Mom. I go up and cuddle with Mom in bed and watch a movie, right? She thought it was the funniest thing. She turned on arachnophobia, and by the end of it, I'm already squirming underneath the, on the bed and shit. And that's when she thinks it's hilarious to start doing like a little crawling my arm thing with her fingers, and I jump a couple times. She had this planned out. She dug out a rubber spider. Right when the really big, huge one comes, I can't remember the fat guy. What's his name? The fat guy from Roseanne was in the movie.
John Goodman.
John Goodman, thank you. John Goodman goes to face off against one of the monster spiders in the movie or something, and he goes, goes to fucking fight it because you totally fight a spider. That movie was fucking dumb. But that's when Mom attacks me with the rubber spider. I scream. I crawl out of the bed. I literally piss myself. And I don't trust my mother again for a week and a half because for that whole week and a half, guess what I came to bed to every night? That motherfucking spider underneath my covers.
Is there a video of this?
I wish.
I just imagine your mother. What would be really funny if she kept doing that for the next week, and then she stopped for a week, and then the next week she did it again, except this time it was a real spider. You think, it's that rubber spider again. You lift the sheets up and then it starts moving.
No, God!
She puts a Theraphosis thermi tarantula in it.
That brings
AKA the Goliath bird eater.
Oh, God, God. No, fuck you.
I don't remember the name of it, but there's another really great movie with William Shatner in it. That's it's like a really old one where it's all about spiders taking over, and it's terrible. Like terrible in the sense the spiders are creepy as fuck.
Oh, God.
See, the thing, I probably shouldn't say this, but Stacy will probably never come visit me.
Oh, it's Kingdom of the Spiders.
But Stacy will never come see me because I'm planning on getting a couple of tarantulas.
Yeah, I'll never enter your fucking house unless I fire vomit first.
That's one thing I don't understand. People keeping spiders as pets.
Right, dude? What makes you stop and go, you know what? I want this thing that kills things in my house. That seems like, which is funny, though, because snakes, totally cool. I have no problem with snakes. Spiders, though, because their fangs, they, suck your blood out. There's just something wrong with a spider, okay?
Here's the thing, though. It's weirder for someone in the UK to be scared of spiders because here in the UK, we don't have any, dangerous spiders like that. The spiders are they're just creepy crawly things. We have maybe a couple of ones that are actually venomous, but nowhere near the US or Australia.
Australia.
Well, I was thinking about going out to go visit my friends Wild and Hana, but then I realized I don't want to go out there because of the fucking spiders they have. Holy shit! Death.
But the thing is, just think, you and Wild can be scared of spiders together.
We'll find a
And then
spider
Hana
in the
can torture
house.
the both of you.
There's me and Wild cut up on the couch, comforting each other, crying as Hana takes care of it.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, if you're new to Australia, Wild's been there for ages, so he'll know the drill for that.
He'll know. Okay, we light the house on fire here. We evacuate all the equipment over here.
Be sure to bring some feta cheese with you.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, if you guys
Or in
don't...
Stacy's case, Limburger cheese. Since he loves that stuff so much.
Okay, so 2 stories, folks, in case you don't know who we're talking about. One, we're talking about my buddy Wild. He has this hatred for feta cheese to the point where it makes him sick. Well, I apparently found my own version. On stream one day, I was like, you know what would be fun? Limburger cheese. I've always wondered if it smells as bad as it does. Because, there's so many things out there, like, there's like this one fruit that smells rotting, but it tastes delicious, right? So, it would, your nose goes, what in the God's name are you doing? But your mouth is going, wow, I'm in heaven, right? So that's what I figured it was going to be. So I was like, I took a slice, I'm like, oh, it smells like rotting socks. This is awful. Cool, I wonder what it tastes like.
Hold on, I'd like to preface this. He tried to get his kids to eat it as well.
I wanted someone else to torture with me. Fuck you.
Limburger sounds like it would smell bad.
So I took a bite, big old bite. Now I'm just nomming away. In about 2 seconds, the taste kicks in. And it tastes like a cow's asshole that's been dead in the sun for a week and a half and rotting and bloating with all the gas in it, and then it explodes into your mouth through the ass.
That's oddly specific.
I'll try to find the clip that I got of it.
It's so, like, I almost vomited on stream. It's so bad. Like my nose is like, what the hell's wrong with you? My mouth goes, Jesus Christ, why didn't you listen to your nose? It was so bad, dude.
And then your stomach's just thinking, you goddamn idiot, you better not be putting that shit inside me.
And this is why I talked to my friend who's a cook, Hannah, and she's like, Stacy, dear, you're a dumbass. I went, why? I was like, that is only meant for, like, to be cooked into food. It's not meant to be eaten raw. It's meant to be put into food as a kicker to give it a little tang. I went, there's no tang to that. That's just death. That's all that is, man. Jesus Christ, that's bad. God, just the thoughts bring me back to...
How to torture Stacy. Give him spiders and Limburger cheese.
Spiders, Limburger cheese, and cutie pie.
Oh my God, guys.
So give him French spiders.
Guys, Pink just made me the happiest little Stacy on earth. She came home with Girl Scout cookies.
Ha.
Oh my God. Sorry. Off topic. I apologize. She walked in with Girl Scout cookies. I'm like,
We've been
stop
off topic
the
for the
show!
last 10 minutes.
Fuck the topic. Let's have fun. Seriously, fuck the topic. I got one more story for spiders for you guys here. You're going to like this one. I promise you. So I went to a school, a summer camp type of thing called YMCA camp. I don't know. Camp Miller. I don't know what the fuck. It was just some stupid camp thing, right? Because you're a kid. You don't give a shit. It's just, I'm going to go camping in a lodge and have to smell bad. This will be fun, right? So there I am. They bring us to the shooting range. I'm like, oh boy. Well, I grew up in a family of rednecks, so I'm like, yeah, I know what to do. Just give me the rifle, whatever, right? So I'm having a blast shooting. And if you know this spider, you'll understand why I was terrified as I was. That's when a wolf spider came out right next to my face from underneath the platform.
Good old wolf spiders.
And these things are fucking huge, really. These things are pretty big. And this is when I scream, I roll with rifle in hand, and I take aim on this thing. And you hear the camp, don't you dare!
I actually got a gun story.
So apparently you're not allowed to shoot spiders at a kid's camp, in case any of you are wondering.
No, what kind of gun was it?
Oh, it was just a 22. It was big enough to kill somebody, absolutely, but it was just a friggin' 22.
See, that's where my story is. I was in Scouts for 3 years-ish, and one camping trip we did, we went out to it was just a big group meeting of different lodges and stuff like that.
Okay.
But we went to this camp, and they had a shooting range, an active shooting range. So the owner of the shooting range brought his own guns to the shooting range for us to shoot. This is when we started skeet shooting.
Skeet, motherfucker. Skeet, goddamn. Nobody, not even a giggle? Really? I hate you guys.
I was too busy face palming. But we,
God damn you, I hate you all so much right now.
But we, so the reason why we were laughing is because Rad just posted a picture in chat that has a guy with a 9mm aimed at a wolf spider, and the quote on it says, "Seems reasonable."
Yes,
but
it does!
We were skeet shooting, but instead of birdshot or buckshot, didn't they give us 12-gauge slugs? Now, me, 13-year-old me, who weighed, like, if that, 100 pounds, put a 5 to 10 pound gun in my hand with a 20 pound kickback.
I can already see where this is going, and I can't wait to visualize this in my mind. Go ahead, please. Tell the story.
I had my earphones on. I pulled the gun up. It wasn't saddled right in my shoulder. First issue. Second issue, they didn't tell me how to stand. So I was kind of just standing there flat-footed, not ready for anything. Wasn't expecting it to kick back at all. So I say pull, he pulls, I track, I shoot, I land on my ass 20 feet behind him. On top of it all, I gave myself a black eye because my eye wasn't on the rest properly.
Oh, God damn you, dude.
What you got was a lesson in physics.
Exactly.
Perpetual motion.
Am I the only person? Okay, this is going to be something that nobody's going to understand unless you shoot guns, but the cross stance. Am I the only person who uses that when I shoot rifles instead of like the squared up stance? Okay, the difference is cross is where you kind of have your left shoulder leading forward, leading forward, not leaning, excuse me. And you kind of have your foot there as a brace, where squared up is just, both shoulders are parallel with each other as you shoot.
I know a couple of people that.
It's just so much more comfortable. It's so much better control, really. Well, I suppose casual.
I had a black eye for 2 weeks.
I bet the camp council went, "Oh fuck, there went my job." Shit.
Because when I got up, everybody was surrounding me. I was out for like a minute and a half, and I got up and I'm just kind of looking around. And I was like, "Why does my eye hurt?" So the counselor stood there, took a picture, and showed it to me. I looked at him and was like, "You're a damn asshole." And he looked at me and he's like, "Whoa, what? Why?" I was like, "First thing, fuck you. You didn't tell me how to stand when I'm shooting. Second thing, I looked over at the guy who owned the gun. Fuck you for giving this to me." And I just kind of sat there and looked around for a few minutes. I had sipping on some water. The camp counselor came over and he was like, "You're not going to tell your parents, are you?" And I was like, "Kind of have to. They're going to ask why I have a black eye." And he was like, "I just really don't want to lose my counselor position and have to do all that paperwork." I looked at him and I was like, "Honestly, I don't really care. I'll just say I get into it with one of the other kids."
And from that day forth, this man never brought another gun to the camp ever again.
And no, the camp was off limits. They actually closed the camp permanently.
Jesus H. Christ! Undead, you son of a bitch!
And to this day, I've never shot another gun.
Really?
I am petrified.
Dude, I've had issues where I was knocked on my ass by a 30-06, but I got right back up and shot it again because I was like, "That was so much fun, let's do it again."
But you gotta remember, I was 13.
Yeah, I was 12, I got knocked on my ass. I've been shooting guns since I was like, I would say 5 years old. I shot my first handgun at 6.
Canada.
Yeah?
That's all I have to say.
Good for you.
That's the explanation. Canada.
Just because you live in fucking, ass backwards land doesn't mean you can't shoot a gun, my friend.
I was actually gonna say, wouldn't guns be more used in Canada? Don't they like hunt up there?
Well, it depends on which province you're in, really.
No.
Well, if you're in Quebec, I mean, what do you got? Fucking wildland everywhere you go, really,
Well, in Quebec, they're all just French, so they use forks.
Jesus Christ.
I have a perpetual hate for Quebec.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. What's so bad with Quebec? Is it just because they're French?
Okay, I have to give this whole preface.
Should we wait to bring this up and bring Aggie the Salty on? Because since she's a French Canadian too, and then watch the two of you get into a battle of the death over Canuck, rights?
No. But I have to preface this. I'm not somebody who hates easily. I hate Quebec and most of the people that are there.
Okay.
Most, not all.
Thank you, Quebec viewers or listeners.
It was great having you guys. Take care.
Most, not all. Okay. For any Quebec listeners here, I am from New Brunswick, your neighbor. We hate you. But they already know that.
So it's kind of like over in fucking England where Robbie tells me, like, those cocksuckers from the next town, I can't stand those sons of bitches.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we hate like right down to like next door neighbors.
It's more of somebody from Manchester hating people from Wales.
Well, that's just like everyone like on the planet hates people from.
I don't. I love people from Wales.
You've never met someone from Wales.
Yes, I have.
I live so close to the Welsh border.
But yeah, most of them, not all of them, are stuck up. They have this brandished idea of we're better than everyone else. Not to mention, at one point, the Quebec government tried to split off from Canada.
So they're the Texas of Canada is what you're saying.
I was just thinking that.
Pretty much.
Jesus
They
Christ.
tried to become their own commonwealth in the middle of Canada. I found that out in history class. I looked at my teacher and I was like, well, they're a bunch of goddamn idiots, aren't they? They screw up. We're not afraid to nuke our own country.
Whoa!
Whoa,
This just took a turn to the fucking.
Canada has nukes?
Yes.
No.
Yes, they do.
No.
Do you not read your own news, for the love of Christ, man?
I mean, bombs of kindness don't count as nukes.
Yeah, that's what we have. But no.
Hey, sorry about that there, A. Hey, bud, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to fucking drop a bomb on you there, A. You did something bad, but I apologize, but this is going to hurt, but we have to do it there, A.
I hate you. Let's move on.
I'm just imagining like a mushroom cloud just forming the word sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, God damn it. Oh, God.
So would that be the start of a real life Fallout series?
Jesus. A Canadian Fallout, really? What would that be when they raid each other's vaults? They have to say sorry as they break it down and shoot everybody?
Canadians never fall out with anyone.
Wah, wah, wah. God.
Okay, so on to some more news.
Okay, though, since you brought up Fallout, the Fallout and the really Bethesda games in general, I have some bones to pick with you guys.
I have to say is falling apart.
Right, it feels like it at times because, especially with Bethesda in general, I'm in the middle of a playthrough of Skyrim Remastered, and when you hear Skyrim Remastered, you expect the main issue many of us had with Skyrim, the fucking glitches and bugs to be fixed. But no! What
For me, it's not so much the bugs and stuff like that. It's the goddamn looting system.
You'd think they would fix the UI at that point too, but no.
Yeah.
All they did was kick up the loading time and make it go load fast. That's all I ever noticed.
Stacy, when will you learn? There are no glitches in Bethesda games. There are only features.
Clearly.
Right, dude? But seriously, they what was the point? What were you trying to do? Were you just doing a cash grab at that point?
Money.
Well, casual, you think that's all it was? Was just a cash grab? That was it?
Absolutely, that's all it was.
If we just make the game shinier, these yubs will buy it up again.
Which people did. Here's the thing. They already released the, quote, Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
Which is, the one that has all the DLC in one and, the usual crap. And if you didn't like the graphics, then you could download mods. There's like a bunch of mods for the graphics.
Well, if you're on PC, that is.
Well, okay, yes. But like you said, Stacy, I have both because they gave anybody on PC at least that already owned Legendary Edition, they gave us the special edition for free.
Exactly. That's the only reason I'm playing it.
Right. And what I discovered is, like you said, it's just load times. They fixed nothing. Nothing. All the quests that were broken before are still broken. Mm-hmm. All of the weird glitches that, now, to be fair, some of the glitches are funny, like the putting a pot over somebody's head.
Oh, yeah, and the fucking horses climbing mountains thing. What the hell?
Yeah, sure. keep those, fine. But they didn't fix game-breaking bugs.
Like that one, I apologize.
That one quest.
I was in, what town was that? It was part of the DLC for Dawn Guard. That I see. The Skyrim fans are going, "You idiot! It's called this." I don't remember the town, but you take the boat to it, and you have to go do a quest for the Thieves Guild there. But it was a quest where you had to go steal like 500 gold worth of stuff. I stole easily $5,000 worth, 5,000 gold worth of stuff, and it just refused to complete. Come to find out, everyone in chat's going, "Hey, idiot! Everything in this particular town is broken. Bethesda never fixed it." Why would you not fix these issues? Because I remember in that one E3, I think is what it's called, that game showcase, right? Isn't it E3?
The main game showcase?
Yeah, there's a few of them. There's E3, there's PAX is kind of a big deal now.
Yeah. Tokyo Game Show.
I want to say it was E3, though. And Todd Howard, the big guy at Bethesda, is going, "We've heard your cries, and we're going to give it to you." And, oh, sweet! Elder Scrolls 6! Elder Scrolls 5 remastered! Huh? What? And people lose their minds. I'm like, well, okay, well, you know what? We'll give it a chance. Well, I really didn't. But we'll give it a chance. Maybe they fixed everything. And they didn't do anything.
And honestly, I'm sure somebody out there will say, "Oh, the graphics are so much better." But they really aren't. I mean, it looks exactly like the original Skyrim.
That's what I was about to say. It looks exactly the same to me.
I would say that the problem we've got going now is, at least if you consider it a problem, is that Bethesda, when they joined up with id Software,
mm-hmm.
they gained something good. I will say they did gain one good thing, and that is that the shooting in Fallout 4 feels good. Because
absolutely
they got id Software people to work on that, mm-hmm. and it is Quake, Doom, etc. So they're like the masters of the shooter part of shooters.
Yeah,
but Bethesda, they seem to make things that are too big for their britches. Like they make this big game. Well, depending on your perspective, filled with hundreds of quests and all of the NPCs and tons of things to pick up and in Fallout, tons of things to craft.
Yeah.
We know you don't like that, Stacy.
No, we'll just move. I was going to be quiet. I was going to be polite for once.
But they don't know how to write themselves out of a wet paper bag.
Well, now that you brought it up.
And I actually enjoyed the story for Fallout 3 and Skyrim. I know a lot of people didn't, but they just don't know how to write. And it surprises me that at this point with all of their potential money that they don't hire writers.
Right? Also, I say Fallout 3, I thought that story was fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like, I wanted to play further. I wanted to keep going because the storyline was so good. Where in Skyrim, I lost interest with the main storyline, I think the second it was done with the very first technical quest. You know, you were like, okay, go join this. Go find the Dragonstone so you can go become, go find out go find out your shouts. After you got your first shout, you're like, I'm bored already. I'm just going to go do a bunch of side quests because the main storyline is not that good. It's not intriguing.
That's one of the reasons why I never actually went and started playing Skyrim, is because I find the storyline is not there. It's, in my opinion, it's boring.
That's the funny thing. I mean, look at earlier, we were just praising Skyrim because Robbie said that was his very first game after he bought his PS3 and, all these amazing things. But at the same time, there's a major gripes about it, man, Mm-hmm. That's what's awesome about being a gamer, because you can love some things about a system, about a game, and and you think it's amazing, but at the same time, you're like, but y'all fucked up, man, on this part right here. I'm still willing to play it, but y'all fucked up.
Well, and that's, one of the things that I've been getting annoyed by in gaming in general, not just Bethesda, but is that there's a trend towards people thinking a game needs to be smaller, like the literal world needs to be smaller because we don't want empty space in our game. We want a quest every 3 seconds because we're bored otherwise. But there are ways to make a world bigger and still have that feel. I like to point to Red Dead Redemption when stuff like that comes up. Red Dead Redemption, there's literally always something going on in the world. It's a big open world. It's pretty barren. Like it's just it's a Wild West story. So, there's lots of distance between towns and stuff. But it always feels like there's something going on because of the way they did random encounters and stuff.
See, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Go ahead, boss.
I was just going to say that I feel like gamers are complaining about the actual size of the game and not about how to fill the size with the appropriate content.
Exactly. I was about to say, like, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, they were exceptional with this, where it was a huge open world and you could travel these vast areas between, where it was quite literally a wasteland, but you always felt like you were doing something. It always felt like there was something happening in these big, huge open worlds. And in empty, because it is supposed to be a wasteland. But once you got to Fallout 4, it felt quite the opposite. It felt very small, and it felt like there was just
cramped.
Exactly. That's it. It felt cramped, and you were like, okay, I have these quests to do, but it doesn't have that same open, huge feel that you're supposed to have. You know what I mean? But of course, I'm a snob, so they.
Well, I think it's not just being a snob. It's looking at what's possible. Like, whatever you might feel about a game like Spore or what's that, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
The game, those specific games might not be the best games, like, for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But look at what they did. With Spore, it showed that I think that game came out in 2005 or 6, and they showed that you can have an entire galaxy of like 100,000 potential stars, maybe more. The developers don't even know. They just kept adding until they said they were done.
Yeah.
Then we get, 6-7 years later, when we should be making games that are literally bigger. Mm-hmm. Like, the world should be bigger, and we get Fallout 4, and as much as I love the mechanics of Fallout 4, I think they did a great job mechanically.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
The world feels smaller than the last game.
And I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a disappointment because me being the Fallout freak I am, I was like, what is this? What are you doing to me?
It's disappointing to me when developers are being given the info from the gamers that we don't want bigger worlds. That's just wrong. We do want bigger worlds. We just haven't gotten the right kind of big worlds.
Yeah. Well, big worlds, look at GTA 5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a huge world. And, like, I've watched people play it. And as you guys know, I'm not really a huge fan of that game itself, but you watch people play it, and it looks absolutely huge. It looks like it looks like there's always something to do there,
There is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really a great example of you can have a huge world and have plenty of stuff to do at the same time without having to put a quest every 2 seconds that it's going to be right in your face with a huge quest mark like, do me, so you're not bored off your... Well, that came off wrong because it is GTA. In that case, there is something to do every 2 seconds, but that's besides the point. Well, come on. There's prostitutes everywhere, man. Jesus Christ. It's as if the creators of the game like, you know what? We don't have nearly enough of prostitutes in this game. Let's get some more.
Sad thing is Rockstar is like that.
Well, you have to keep in mind that that's kind of a different animal because Rockstar thrives on controversy.
I would say, are they just like a company of 12-year-olds going, oh, it'll be funny, more prostitutes ever?
No, with Grand Theft Auto 3, they made a game that they wanted to make. Mm-hmm. And they had some, immature humor in it and stuff like that. But what happened was Grand Theft Auto 3, much like Mortal Kombat before it, caused so much controversy in the media that it sold really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And once that happened, they said, well, hey, we're just going to make sure we create controversy. They have actually, there's articles you can look up about how they marketed some of their games after Grand Theft Auto 3. They legitimately marketed them by creating controversy. Like, they actively went out into the news sources and said, hey, guess what? Our game has X or our game has Y. And the media grabbed it and ran with it.
Well, that's a problem with a lot of things. And creating controversy to sell yourself when you're starting to die out or when you want to bring yourself out there to show yourself off is everywhere, especially in YouTube. Yeah, you know exactly what I was about to bring up as soon as I mentioned that. A certain gentleman named PewDiePie. Can't remember his real name for life of me. Frankly, I don't care.
Felix.
Felix. Okay, thank you. He went about this the wrong way. Basically, what happened is he still is the undisputed king of YouTube. There is no way to argue that. Let's face it. But he's been falling off for quite a while. It's just because YouTube is changing. That's it.
For the worse.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
But it's your guys' fault because you're the ones, consuming the software and not software, the content and changing it. But that's, a conversation for a different time. Well, he was like, okay, my numbers are falling off. I need to get myself more well known. What am I going to do? I'm going to make a video, a satirical video, yes, but I'm going to make a video that shows exactly what you can get people to do for $5 on a website called Fiverr, which if you did it right, it would be freaking hilarious. He did it wrong is the problem. If the perfect example of satire, I would say would be a YouTuber named MK. He has a series called MK Loves. Fantastic series and absolutely hilarious. I mean, I cannot suggest this guy to people enough. MK is one of the best satirical artists I've ever seen. He has one of my favorite videos by him is MK Loves Homosexuals. And the whole MK Loves is supposed to be like, I hate, ha 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 ha. But it's all about satire. And what he did was he satirized people who truly hated homosexuals. He satirized people who truly hated people just because of who they loved. He was making fun of the people who are ignorant assholes. And what he did was he made sure at the very beginning of the video, because he knew this one would be such a hot topic, the very beginning of the video, it says, this is satire. Use your brain when you watch and hear this and understand this is comedy. This is me satirizing the idiots. This is me making fun of people who are assholes and who hate people just because of who they love. Listen to my words carefully and understand. And then once you read that, for people who didn't understand satire, you went, oh, this is hilarious. This is dead on. This is exactly what it's like. The problem is, PewDiePie really didn't do that with his video. Yes, he said, I want to see what I can do to make people, what we can do to make people, do for $5 to show exactly how stupid it is. But he didn't bother attacking this issue right. Yeah, I mean,
he never thought to himself, I can do this. Should I?
Exactly. It was more, am I doing this for the right reason? Yeah, I mean, am I doing this for ratings, or am I doing this because I truly believe this is an issue I'd love to talk about? That's the thing. When MK made the video, it was because he believed in the subject. He thought it was stupid that people hated people just because of who they love. PewDiePie did this just because he wanted to make ratings, and that's the reason why it went wrong on him. So he's losing things left and right, you know what I mean?
Right. PewDiePie did it, and he wasn't forthcoming about why he did it.
Exactly.
Whereas MK, like you said, very beginning of the video, here's the disclaimer. And yet he still kept it classy.
Exactly.
Relatively.
As we all say, if you have to explain the joke is bad. It's not a good joke. Obviously, and I'll admit that, yes. But sometimes you just have to. You have to understand there's people out there who are not going to understand what you're trying to do, and that's just life.
Yeah.
Or they're not going to watch it all the way through.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So guess what? You kind of have to do that. Okay, in case you guys are wondering and you have not been keeping up on YouTube, the video or just on modern news in general, he made a video where he hired people to hold an Indian comedy crew to hold up a sign that says "Death to all Jews," and that's I really don't know much past that. Just to say, look what we got him to do for $5. Ha 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 ha. This backfired on him so badly. He lost a contract he had with Disney, where he was working with Disney. YouTube has pulled all of his premium ad content, so he'll no longer, like, when you search up YouTube, normally it's PewDiePie, check this guy out, look at him. Now they pulled that, so he's going to lose all of that.
They not only pulled his ads, but they've also pulled his YouTube Red series.
Oh, they pulled that too, huh? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they pulled everything. He's current. As far as I know, he's currently under investigation by YouTube.
Well, it's because here's the thing: is on a number of this isn't the first time he's referenced something that had to do with Hitler, but it's PewDiePie. I mean, he did things to cause controversy just to sell. He tried to pull the Howard Stern, but he did it terribly wrong. He's not Howard Stern. He's not a god of satire. He's not a god of shock. He's just not. He was the god of screaming at a bear that jumps out at you when you're playing a horror game that is all about animatronic bears. That's it. And, screaming, homophobic comments, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, and also making terrible rape jokes. That's besides the point of this current story. But it's just, if you want to go about this, you have to do it right. And PewDiePie shot himself in the foot so badly that legitimately I think it's shaken YouTube to its core, because people have been doing stuff like this on YouTube for a while, but now it's kind of going, oh shit, someone screwed up so bad, it's going to screw all of us up now. Yeah, I mean?
The thing you need to remember is the only reason that any of PewDiePie's stuff was pulled was not because he made the video. He made the video for a while back. The reason it was pulled is because it was brought to the attention, it was brought to YouTube and Disney's attention by the mainstream media. They started creating stories about it, and then YouTube and Disney, Maker Studios, who is owned by Disney, felt they needed to distance themselves from PewDiePie for obvious reasons.
But my biggest issue is, I have a really big issue with mainstream media and media period that is willing to take bits and pieces of a situation, put it together and go, oh, hey, this person's a piece of trash because they did this, this, and this.
Like
that actually didn't happen.
It should be noted. It should also be noted that Maker Studios also has iDubbbz, and they still have iDubbbz. And
iDubbbz, yes, he is another
along the same
satirical.
lines as
Yeah, he's a very big satirical YouTuber that personally I don't like. I don't like his content at all. I mean, I don't really like PewDiePie's either, but sure, some of his stuff is funny. He's, as he says himself, he's a novice comedian. But iDubbbz, in my personal opinion, iDubbbz is just straight up asshole with a lot of his stuff, like his Content Cop videos. I'm pretty sure, Stacy, you showed one of his videos on stream, I do believe.
I'm trying to remember who iDubbbz is, honestly.
Content Cop.
I don't.
He goes through and finds content and basically blasts people for it.
Do you remember the girl on YouTube who had like a meeting, like a fan meetup, and one guy came up to her, and I'm not going to say it on here, but he said, "Say the N-word."
I don't remember that one. No.
Oh, really? That was quite a big.
It was relatively recent, and it falls under the whole category of YouTube drama.
Oh shit! I'd say honestly, for a lot of these guys, I purposely ignore them, just because I don't feel they're worth my time of thinking of, because they just don't actually further my entertainment of life, my enjoyment of life. So why bother even giving them the time of day to even look at them? Yeah, I mean,
I enjoy grabbing some popcorn and watching YouTube drama now and then.
Me too. I'm a guilty pleasure watcher of a couple of satire YouTube channels that I'll be watching a video and I'm like, no, I absolutely do not agree with what you're doing here, but I'll watch it anyway because there's nothing one person in your comment section of well over 1 million can do.
Exactly. And to get back to PewDiePie though, one thing he said a lot when you brought up that most people, you mentioned that most people found out about this, and the only reason it got any attention is because the mainstream media grabbed a hold of it. And I remember him saying, well, the only reason people are mad at me is because the media is attacking me and they're blowing it out of proportion. No, dude. Legitimately, the media is doing what they normally do to anybody else who's not, being worshipped by a website. Legitimately. This is exactly what happens to people when they do something really dumb. Just because you're the king of YouTube doesn't mean you're exempt from this. Yeah, I mean, when I read the article of him talking about it, it seemed like he was coming off the air of, how dare they do this to someone of my stature? Don't they know who I am?
Well, it's
I personally
more
disagree with that.
As do I. It's more of the situation of mainstream media has a tendency of taking bits and pieces of a situation or a conversation and gluing them together and saying, this is the video, this is what's been going on.
Absolutely. I do not disagree with that at all.
With PewDiePie, they actually took a situation from one of his videos, and he's like me, he talks with his hands. and he was pointing off camera, and just the angle of his arm, it looked like he was doing the Nazi salute.
Yeah. Okay.
And they took that and said, boom, blonde hair, blue eyes, he's a white supremacist.
Yeah, don't get me wrong there. I'll admit those guys, they'll do some horseshit stuff. But at the same time, they at least did something right, sort of. You know,
I mean,
with this.
From what I can tell, the only thing they've really done is unite most of YouTube against them.
I guess, but here's the thing: is that it needed attention what he did, and I thought that this went way overboard because he did it the wrong way. But I'll definitely admit that they did. They said, okay, you know, we're gonna attack this particular thing just because it seems like it'll make some money for us. Mm-hmm. Sorry, dude. Once again, you're not above the point of them doing that because that's just what they do to everyone. It sucks. I mean, you could point out anybody, and I do mean anybody on mainstream media news stories, and they'll twist anything just to make a story, you know, just to make a buck off of ad revenue. You're not exempt just because you're the quote-unquote king of YouTube.
I agree with that. I mean, I personally have my own opinion on this, but I think it's slightly amusing to me that while they are trying to discredit him, it seems to have completely backfired because I'm looking at the Social Blade and he seems to be getting more subscribers than ever.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I mean, you point out something that somebody does that's stupid. Of course, they're going to get an explosion of exposure. Yes, and that there's an old saying: any exposure is good exposure, and that's how it's always going to be. Always will be. You know. So of course he's going to get an explosion of subscribers, and this is just going to realistically endorse the whole, if I make a scene and I do something stupid, people are going to come back to me. Kind of like his, I'm going to delete my channel at 50 million subs. Oh wait, just kidding. It was a joke. It wasn't a real. It was just one of my side channels that I didn't use anyway. You know.
In his defense, he wasn't lying.
But it was just, he did it on purpose to try to make a humdrum about him losing. What's the one I'm looking for here? Losing interest in his channel. That's all it really is. That's all he's doing is he's doing exactly what you're supposed to do as a content creator when you start to drop off.
Yeah.
But in a general,
okay, let me rephrase that. If you're a sleazy content creator, that's exactly what you're doing. And I'm sorry, that's my personal opinion of it.
I mean, absolutely. But in my opinion, YouTube's starting to become that as a core. It's hard to find decent YouTubers who don't use ass ton of clickbait. Like, there's quite a few YouTubers that I was subscribed to, and they started coming out with video after video after video with nothing but clickbait. Well, and that's the only way people are able to get their channel growth because there is big YouTubers like PewDiePie who generalize a lot of viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I personally disagree with that in that saying that YouTube is becoming that. I've been on YouTube for a long time now, and YouTube seems to have always been that.
Well,
absolutely. You stick the boobies on the channel, or you say like some type of thing that's going to reference tits. Guess what? You're going to get a whole bunch of 12-year-olds clicking that, no matter what.
I mean, I remember like in the old YouTube algorithm, when they used to have replies underneath the videos, there was a thing called reply girls, which was literally it was a pair of boobs in the thumbnail. Anyone would click on it, and because of the old algorithm, every time they got a view, regardless of how long they watched, they'd get ad revenue. And so it was a problem of reply girls just replying to any random videos saying, yeah, I watched the video, it was a pretty good video. Anyway, bye guys. And they just did that to get loads of views, and YouTube had to change the algorithm and get rid of replies altogether.
Hey, you think that would work? That would have worked for me? Like, you remember like how the new trend for chicks is to wear those tops that come just below the nipple? I mean, just barely not showing any of the areola for the nipple. Do you think if I just wore pants that were just on each leg and a long shirt that showed just the bottom of my nutsack, and I showed that on a YouTube video, if I get a lot of clicks?
Probably.
Would I?
Because it not only goes with just showing like a pair of tits on the the thumbnail. It goes for both men and women. If your ad, or if the name of your video is like flashed, a guy flashed in public, or something like that.
I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened to me.
Yeah, and then you show on your thumbnail a blurred out quote unquote ball sack or ass, you're going to get a lot of views.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest, I can see YouTube, personally, YouTube slowly dying.
I completely disagree. I feel it's growing, but it's changing to be more of an actual media source where instead of it being...
YouTube is changing to be more...
YouTube is trying...
Less you and more...
Tube.
More mainstream.
Yeah.
YouTube is trying to do something because they're seeing a market for it, and that is they're trying to be Netflix and Amazon Video.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that they're having, is that they are killing the free content creators slowly, and as a result of killing their content creators, they're trying to do this whole YouTube Red thing, but they don't have... Nobody wants YouTube Red. Nobody cares about YouTube Red. I'm sure...
I would disagree, because there are plenty of people who do subscribe to it, so I don't think it's not that anybody wants it. Nobody wanted it initially, is what I would say.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying that they're coming at this from the wrong angles, and they've been doing some weird things, and of course, there's also other companies that have helped not to kill YouTube, but to kill certain content creators about YouTube. Like, for instance, when Nintendo made that, blanket statement about, we're going to take your money because you're using our stuff kind of thing.
And then they made their own, network.
And so YouTube has been trying to both combat that stuff and also try to get into the whole Netflix side of things, and I don't know if it's working. Like, I could see YouTube dying.
See, to me, I don't see it dying. To me, I see YouTube becoming the new TV, like true TV. Because look at the direction it's going. Look at how often, look at some of the bigger ones. Like Ellen has a huge YouTube channel because she has a crew of people working behind her to constantly create content and constantly getting cash off of this website. Just nonstop content. Same with Conan, same with all these people. Where the smaller people like me, you, PewDiePie, whoever, can't pump out content that often, can't make that much content. So they're not going to rule it quite the same. So that's why I see it becoming the new actual TV.
But the thing is that because a lot of gaming content creators and shows like Ellen and stuff like that, even they can't get content out as fast as they want to. And that's where daily vlogging YouTube channels prosper. Is because they vlog every single day, they edit every single night, they upload the next day.
Yep.
And it's that exact same thing every single day. And
it's the new media.
With YouTubers like Roman Atwood, my personal favorite vlogger, he has a very strict system. He vlogs one day, uploads the next. Somewhere in the middle, whether it's the next day morning or it's that evening, somewhere in there he edits, and then it's usually always up on the next day. YouTubers like Tom Cassell, aka the Syndicate Project, gaming YouTube channel, his vlogging channel, he actually sidestepped from gaming and went full force into vlogging because he's seen the gaming side of YouTube dying. As much as I hate to say it, it's true, because YouTubers there's a whole bunch of YouTubers that are actually stepping back in creating their videos because there's not enough viewership for what they want to do.
Yeah. I mean, I remember there used to be an animation side of YouTube, an animation community of YouTube, but due to the change in the algorithm from per click to I think it was the length of time watched, that just completely died off.
And that's what inevitably killed a lot of smaller YouTubers, which they claim that they're all for small YouTubers and growing the community, and
Yeah,
they
sure.
only care about the big YouTubers that they're getting money off of.
Well, once
Big
again,
YouTubers and the main, I guess, main television that are coming into YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
well, once again, I'll say it over and over and over again. That's the fault of you who drove YouTube to do it this way. It's not YouTube going, oh, I can't wait to push these, smaller guys out of the way so we can bring in just the bigger guys. It's just you guys. I'm doing this as a generalized talking to everyone who uses YouTube. You as the viewer did this because you chose to do this. This is the way you told YouTube you wanted to use it. It's really your own fault. But
it also comes back to what I was saying earlier with PewDiePie is one person out of millions of people can't do anything.
Absolutely. Should we do something completely different to round out the podcast today?
Sure.
Absolutely, totally different. Old video games. Why is this such a trend to bring them back?
Nostalgia.
Is it just that? Or is it just is it the ease of content creation for the content creator? Once again, going back to the content creator. Is it just easier for them to just go, hey, look at this brand that we already have. It was established 10, 15 years ago. Let's bring it back and just go, it's remastered. It's good enough. Kind of like Crash Bandicoot's coming back, but it's all...
It's a quick cash-in.
Is that really all it is? Or is it...
It's a cash grab.
I think it's the community actually asking for it.
It's a quick cash grab that plays on nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely... It depends on the perspective, because I know some people really like like you said, Crash Bandicoot.
Mm-hmm.
But what they want is not what they're being given. They don't want an old game remastered. They want a new game.
Exactly.
And the developers are taking the easy route. They're putting out a remastered version of a product that they know sold before. They'll give it a new paint job, basically, and say, look, new.
Because they're seeing if there's still a market for it.
But the irony, I agree with that, but the irony is that there was probably a market for it if they gave us something new.
Yeah.
But then you're only catering to those who grew up with it, and those who played it before. Well, remember, kids are still being born. There are kids still growing up. There are kids who have never heard of Crash Bandicoot other than this remaster.
Very true. Absolutely. But I guess to me, I think they're trying to pull on the nostalgia factor personally more than trying to sell to the new audience. It's just frustrating when I see some of my favorite franchises, when I hear they're going to put out something new, and I'm getting excited. I'm like, okay, cool. Because I remember playing Crash Bandicoot. It was a fun series. It was. Mm-hmm. It was really, really, really fun. And I remember Pink coming and going, Stacy. What? And by the way, guys, Pink's my girlfriend, in case you didn't know. I was like, what? What's the matter? She's like, Crash Bandicoot's got a new game coming out. I went, that's awesome, right? That's been fun, cool, something new to play. And she went, no. They're just redoing the old one so it looked pretty. I went, oh, again.
Yeah.
I would also say that it could also be... I know this is not what the companies are thinking about whatsoever, but the copies of Crash Bandicoot of the original ones that are out there, those are the only ones that are ever going to be out there, and those will slowly disappear.
Well, don't they already have them up on the virtual stores though?
That's virtual though. You're depending on the service that has it.
That's what we're already going to
that
though.
Has it and everything.
That's 1,000,000% what we've already gone to.
We can get emulators for that shit.
Exactly. Well, that's something I've been complaining about for a long time now. Is that's all we are going for is, trying to be nothing but virtual. I mean, look at the PS4. You could buy a disc, fantastic. All it did was open up the virtual. Exactly, download it for you. The disc is nothing more than just a code to say, okay, go ahead and buy it. Go ahead, you actually own it now, but you have to download it first. That's it. It's really just a fancy key, and that's it. That's so flippin' annoying. You know, because I still own my Earthbound cart to this day from the Super Nintendo. That was so fun because I can still go back and plug that into any TV and play it to this day. You know,
I don't know. I kind of when it comes to the whole download only and stuff, I used to be against that whole idea because I liked the physical the physical copy and everything. Mm-hmm. But having used Steam for probably the last 5, 6, 7 years now, I've come to the realization that if you have an account, and it's free, mm-hmm. like Steam is free, technically Sony's PlayStation Network is free, as still have to have a PlayStation, but if you have a way to save that information and you don't forget what your account is and your password and stuff, it's just easier.
What about go ahead, I apologize, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, I was just saying, it's just easier to have it all right there. You go anywhere, and as long as you don't forget your information, you always have that content. Whereas, think about how many discs you broke over the years, or when your cartridge died.
Well, I 1,000,000% agree with you. I think there could be a happy medium to this, but the problem I have with this is this. What happens when Steam decides to shut down? What happens when PlayStation goes, you know what, we're tired of hosting this game that you bought. We're just going to boot it off our network because not enough people download it every day anymore to keep it worth us to have it on our servers.
There's actually a really good example of that. PlayStation 3 has a game called Battlefield 1943.
Okay.
It is online only. It's an online multiplayer. That's all it has. It's basically it's an arcadey Battlefield,
okay,
so to speak. To even look at the menu, you have to connect to EA servers. This game came out in 2009. When those servers are shut down, that game is officially useless. You literally couldn't do anything with it.
And mm-hmm. I will point out that EA will shut down those servers. They kill more games than any other company out there.
Yes, they will. So that means once those servers are gone, that game is forever useless.
Here's one of the things that
somebody. Sorry, Robbie.
I was just going to say, here's one of the things I dislike about going completely digital is I don't like the idea of a device, and this could probably be solved by things like cloud servers and things like that. But I dislike the idea of a device that I use breaking and then me losing my entire category of whatever DVDs, games.
Yep.
I just hate that vulnerability.
Exhibit A, Nintendo consoles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With EA and killing games and stuff like that, the thing is that they'll be dead until somebody who really, really, really loves the game finds out to host their own servers.
If they
hand in hand with
look at Matrix. People are not allowed to host their own servers, even though the game's been fully shut down and killed completely. Mm-hmm. Does anybody remember Matrix Online? Even
I didn't know there was a Matrix Online.
Enough said, I guess. But
case in point with the legacy servers and the private servers for World of Warcraft.
Yes,
people love the original legacy World of Warcraft. So they found a way to modify game files and make a server out of it.
However, that opens another can of worms that WoW is still currently ongoing.
Exactly. Here's my thing. When I heard about that particular situation is they're not really if it was no longer a game and they no longer own the IP on it, or even if they did own the IP on it but the game was completely shut down, I would have no way to defend not letting people host their own servers, and I would not defend it. I would not defend Blizzard's point of view on it. They should absolutely be able to host it, but the problem is you could still play a game. You could still go buy the game and play it actively with a membership. Now, if they would have approached Blizzard and said, "Hey, we want to do this. We're willing to enter into a partnership with you where we'll charge people for the server. We'll give you half or 3/4, whatever. Just let us keep the servers up so we can play these games that we love, this original version we love." I think it would have had a better chance. But they tried basically telling Blizzard, go to hell, we're not going to charge people for it.
Actually, there is a situation kind of like that. There's the server that created a whole bunch of controversy on YouTube when it was shut down, Nostralius.
Yes. I thought that was free.
Kind of. The big issue that Blizzard had with them is you had to buy a legacy account. That's
profiting from somebody else's IP.
Exactly. But once they got that out of the way, they actually sat down with the owner of Nostralius actually sat down with the owners of Blizzard and offered to help host legacy servers. And Blizzard basically looked at them and said, "Fuck you. It's our game. We do what we want with it."
Well, and the thing is, I know that there's a lot of people that want to play X game or whatever, but let's face the simple truth. Blizzard does own it. It is their game. They can do anything they want with it. Now, do some people want the legacy servers? In the case of EA, do people want to still play some of these games that they've shut down? Yes, but at the end of the day, you just have to accept the fact that this is not, this isn't going to happen.
Exactly.
And the final point on this, well, for me at least, is how many online only games have been shut down that are now lost to time. That there's a few people who still remember it, but they don't have the programming or anything like that to make their own servers for it.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was Nether. It's still technically around, but barely, I
always find it fun. I used to do this with Minecraft, but I don't know if they still have public Minecraft server worlds on their website. But I used to log on to those, and it's basically a world which had been built up and then destroyed, and it's really eerie walking through dead servers with no one in, just ruined buildings and half-built ones, and then towers that go up to the sky. It's really eerie. And I imagine that's kind of the fate of a lot of these games.
Here's one thing about me. Once again, bringing up Nether. Nether was shut down back in 2015. But what they did was they resurrected the game on Halloween back in 2015 also, and then they basically said, we gave you back the game that you had lost, got rid of the free-to-play, and gave you back the original game that been tarnished by other developers and half-baked features. So basically what they did was they got rid of the third-party service that you needed to have to run it, but they said, okay, well, here's 1.5 million microtransactions so we can support this game still. Which, sure, that's fantastic. And, and unfortunately, that's the way it had to go just to keep this game up, but it's technically around, but, if you're not willing to dump cash into it, it's less pay to play. It's pay to win at this point. You know what I mean?
But for the last point of my end, an old game that's done it right is Battlefield 3. You can create and pay for your own server and keep the game going. Yeah. And they allow it. They allow public servers that people pay to put them on the server list to keep the game going.
See, I like that. I do. Then it's up to the players to keep the game alive. I guess if you truly love the game, you'll keep it alive. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People still play Unreal Tournament for Dreamcast.
Oh, God, yes, they do. That's really, and that's another great example of a game being kept alive by the players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think it's a pretty good time to wrap up the podcast. What do you say?
Yep.
All right, well, Thank you all so very much for tuning into the podcast today and to quit hitting the snare, quit hitting your drum like Captain Caveman, or what did we call
Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman.
All right, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Stacy Kruger. Who are you guys? From the bottom up this time, just to go, and because there's a reason why Undead's on the bottom, but we'll get into that on a different podcast.
I'm Undead.
I'm Robbie.
Brad Hazard.
I'm Casually Challenged.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time, y'all.
Later, guys.